We the Mafia. We the Mafia, Bills Mafia, Bills Mafia. We the Mafia, we the Mafia, Bills Mafia, Bills Mafia. We the Mafia, Bills Mafia, Bills Mafia. We the Mafia, Bills Mafia, Bills Mafia.
You know who the beast in the AFC East. We gon' grind this thing out for 17 weeks, yeah. You hating on the Bills, then you way off. Talk is cheap, meet us in the playoffs. Game day, you know we going off. Got your team captain shaking at the coin toss. We say Mafia, that means family to me. Cause we stand with the team, best fans in the league.
Bills Mafia, Bills Mafia. We the Mafia, we the Mafia. Bills Mafia, Bills Mafia. We the Mafia, Bills Mafia, Bills Mafia. We the Mafia, Bills Mafia, Bills Mafia. We the Mafia. Let's go Buffalo, let's go Buffalo, let's go Buffalo, let's go Buffalo. Let's go Buffalo, let's go Buffalo, let's go Buffalo, let's go. We the Mafia.
Listen, first the fat boys break up. Now every day I wake up, somebody got a problem with hope. What's up, y'all just get all fed up cause I got a little cheddar and my record's moving out the store. Young folks spitting at me, young rappers getting at me. My looking big, predicted this exactly. More money, more problems, gotta move carefully. Cause fans hate when you get their money like athletes. Youngins ice grilling me, oh, you not feeling me fine.
It feels like it's been 100 years, Justus.
It's been far too long.
101. Welcome everybody into the show. Of course, happy Friday night. I mean, we're getting ready. This is the last day without playoff football on. So, you got to be ready for it. Of course, we are your host. I am Jake, a.k.a. the Northeastern Nostradamus. He is Justus, a.k.a. the GM. And we are your Friday night guys underneath the Friday night lights. And this is Built Different. Oh, man, dude. Of course, we start off every show just like this. Justus, I got a question for you.
What's up?
What's your New Year's resolution? You got one? New year, new Justus?
New year, new me. New Year's resolution. I feel like I want to help a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I got you. Well, that just so happens to be Buffalo FAMbase's New Year's resolution, which is to spread more love this year, more than we already did last year. And of course, you can do that by supporting the sponsor of our show and every show on the Buffalo FAMbase network, 26 Shirts, where this week you can get the Strong Buffalo collection presented by Value Home Centers. Each purchase helps support Ryan Abbey, who's recently been diagnosed with a rare form of blood cancer. Man, I messed up the reading. I feel so bad about that. But this shirt is gone after this weekend, so make sure to act fast. The link for the shirt is already down in the description, so you guys can get that. And maybe just one last thing before we even get into the show, right? Is that I'm not sure if we talked about the Damar Hamlin situation at all, of what happened, me and you personally. Yeah, on a live show. I think the last show we ever did was our Madden cast of the Bills Bengals game.
Yeah.
And then just after that, it has been just so crazy. And, of course, we've kind of gotten back to that. But we wanted to thank everybody who went and showed support for Damar by purchasing a Show Love shirt from 26 Shirts. That campaign, it raised $102,032 to send to Damar Hamlin's Chasing M's Foundation. So, that's of course, awesome. With already $8 million in donations on the GoFundMe as well. Just lots of support here. Of course, we're presented by 26 Shirts, but their mission is pretty much the same as ours, and it's spreading love. And when that Damar situation happened, it was just like it was a whole thing, and now it's kind of come back to normal. I mean, like he's back, like he recovered, and now it's kind of like everybody. So a lot of people have moved on. Some of us are still just like, all right, well, everything looks fine for the kid. I hope that we can see him back on the field again. One day I call him a kid. I think I'm about the same age as him, or maybe he's a year older than me. But still, no, it's just crazy. But the support that's been around the NFL and Bills Mafia has been absolutely crazy. So thank you guys for supporting 26 shirts, because supporting 26 shirts supports us. So that's awesome. But Justus, we got to talk about some stuff going on around the NFL. All right. So like we've got a jam-packed show if you're already in here tonight. I basically read it all off to Justus, and he's like, okay, we got a good show. When Justus says that, he knows that we're about to have hopefully it's probably going to be a long show. I don't know. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. It's been like 3 weeks since it built different. So we got a lot of stuff, but we got around.
We were long-winded to begin with, so
yeah. So I mean, I think we've had shows go over 2 hours before. I'm not sure.
We've had 2 hours.
Definitely a couple of first-round buys went over.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially when it was me, you, and Izzy. I mean,
definitely.
Yeah,
then
those definitely went over 2 hours.
Yeah.
But the first thing from around the NFL is the Chiefs secure the number 1 seed.
Astros.
I mean, Mickey Mouse 1 seed.
Yeah,
like
Mickey's in the chat.
Yeah, I didn't want to, like, obviously the Chiefs didn't ask for the Damar Hamlin situation to happen. But for them to also, just be like, we'll take the 1 seat. That's fine. We won't, like, if you guys want to just do the win percentage thing, we'll just beat this terrible Raiders team who's obviously tanking.
That was so. What's the difference between doing the win percentage and just keeping it record based? Like, if a team has played one more game, they have won one more game. Like, you basically just did the same thing. That was a cop out. That didn't make any sense, but whatever.
Yeah. But Chiefs get the 1 seed. As much as, maybe we can talk about it here a little bit. Do you think the Bills win that game against the Bengals just with how it looked before the whole thing happens?
I mean, not with how it looked before the whole thing happens. Absolutely not. They were about to get stomped if you want to go based off of what that.
It really felt like it.
But I will say that football games are more, peaks and valleys than just straight blowouts, especially 2 great teams. So I don't think it was going to be that way forever. I think the Bills would have eventually found their stride. They were driving on the drive where they had the field goal. Josh missed Cole Beasley. They need to get their timing back, but I'm cool. I'd rather that happen in the regular season than in the playoffs, so hopefully they can get that together. But anyway, they settled for 3 points, but the offense looked really good. And then obviously the Bengals offense looked really, really good. So, that's something to worry about. But also, I think Frazier was kind of like, all right, let's see what you got. Like, I want to see what you do. This is what he does a lot. That first drive for the Bills, the first 20, 15 plays are usually a problem for the Bills. And this usually just Frazier playing base defense and what you about to do. And so then eventually throughout, the game, he starts to figure out and things, start to swing in the Bills' favor, especially if the offense can get going. So I would have, I don't know how the game would have went, obviously. But I am happy that Damar Hamlin is okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy he's good. As far as if he ever wants to play again, I guess that's really up to him. But one cool story that I did see on the internet was about a hockey player who the same thing happened to.
Yep. And
he went on to have a 12-year career and make the Hall of Fame, right? So
he played in the next playoff game after that happened to him.
Absolutely not. No, that's crazy. They was wilding in the 80s whenever that happened. That's nuts.
Absolutely crazy. But it's very hard to say who would have won that game. I mean, after the whole aftermath of everything, as soon as Damar Hamlin, started to show signs of improvements, then the real, like, the thing that was all in the back of a lot of people's heads was starting to come There were the people that were showing love and were really concerned. We were really the main ones concerned, like Bills Mafia, but then a lot of other fan bases were as well. But then there were the other ones who were just like, yo, what about the game?
Yeah.
How would the game have turned out? And discussions started to come up of, well, look at the score. Look what we were doing to you guys. We would have beat you guys. God. And I'm just like, oh, come on, guys. First of all, if you look at the statistics, and I hate doing this, but the Bills in the first quarter this year, defensively, are ranked like 23rd in the league, like in the first quarter. You notice there's a lot of games where the Bills in the first quarter are losing.
Yeah.
Like, that's just because a lot of the time the Bills make defensive adjustments on the fly and they feel the team out.
Yeah, I wish the offense made adjustments like the defense does.
Yeah, because you'll see the defense in the second quarter come out and they start to really, tighten it up and they figure out what are the tendencies, how's this team going to attack us. And if you look at, I'm pretty sure it's like the Bills they're like 23rd in the league in the first quarter, but then everything else, they're like 4th and then 3rd and then 4th. Like it's like the rest of the games, they tighten up. So you can't sit there and look at that game and been like, oh, the Bills wouldn't have turned it on. You just don't know. You know how many Bengals games I've seen this year where they ball out in the first half and the second half, they just don't score any points for the rest of the game?
I mean, we just saw a couple of weeks ago, the Vikings literally break the record of a comeback. So come on, let's be honest. It was up by 4 points, relax.
Yeah. So I never really understood where that came out. But another thing that happened around the NFL was Roquan Smith in the same draft class as Tremaine Edmonds. He got paid. And a lot of people are going like, hey, Roquan Smith, he got paid. Now, Tremaine Edmonds, that always crops up. We're going to talk about a couple of other things around the NFL. But the next topic is the Tremaine Edmonds extension. So everybody keep that in the back of their mind. But Roquan Smith, paid. Sean McVay returning as the Rams head coach, is kind of up as a question of whether or not he was going to come back. Does he really want to be part of a rebuild? Their general manager and their owner, they're like, F them picks, so it's not going to be the greatest rebuild ever, but he's coming back. So, good luck to Sean McVay. I guess it's in the NFC. I don't care. So, this is a big one. Lamar Jackson, still injured. According to the PCL thing, apparently there's still some swelling there. It's not comfortable. Lamar's not comfortable at all. And some people come out. I mean, it's literally before the show tonight, a Sammy Watkins thing dropped today of him saying, oh, Lamar should still just go out there and play even through the injury because he's got a chance to win a Super Bowl and stuff like that. And it's just kind of like people are being like, oh, Lamar should have been fine a couple of weeks ago. And then they're like, oh, is he not playing because he wants to get paid? He's holding out on his team, which I don't think Lamar is that kind of player. But some people still think, is he gone? Like, Dolphins probably have had the contract written up for 2 years ready to give it to him. The Jets probably would like to throw some money at him. Like, is he gone, Justus? Do you think Lamar's done?
I certainly hope so. Like, I want him somewhere far, far away in the NFC. I mean,
the two teams I just listed off are in our division.
Yeah, no, that's why I ignored it. I don't want that at all. I want him, if they give up on Kyler or something, I don't know, the Giants. It's not too many teams in the NFC that need a quarterback that I can think off the top of my head, though. Shoot. Oh, my God, the football team. Yes, go to Washington. Oh, my God, I will root for Lamar all day and night, but I can't root for him right now in the AFC. So I hope for his downfall every day, but I love him as a person and a player, you know what I mean? But I don't like the Ravens because they're in the AFC, so I have no choice. But I do hope he's gone so I can actually root for him because he seems like a really – and I hate all the hate that he gets, man. Like,
it's ridiculous.
He seems like such a positive person, and then people just like talk like they know his situation, and that's annoying. That's very annoying.
Yeah, I personally think that they will get a deal done, but I wouldn't be surprised if they franchise tag him.
I wouldn't be either. I think they will. They just paid what's the name, so he's the only one left. Yeah, he's the only one left to be franchise tag.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, why are you paying Roquan Smith before
not
you pay Lamar Jackson? And I just think that, I don't know, the last 2 years, Lamar's gotten hurt towards the end of the season when you really need him. And it's just maybe the Ravens are being a little bit cautious with that, maybe not wanting to give him. There's so many reports that come out that say, oh, Lamar wants a Deshaun Watson type deal, which I hate that the Deshaun Watson deal even happened, because that's going to.
First of all, he didn't deserve that deal.
No, I feel like that's such an outlier when it comes to quarterback contracts. Of no, the Browns were stupid enough to give him that contract. That should be the exception, not the rule.
Right. Agreed.
So, but some agents, they don't view it that way.
Well,
so they're like,
I think his agent is his mom.
Yeah, actually, he does. He represents himself with his mom. So, who knows? I think he gets franchise tagged, and they still try to work on a deal. But we know the franchise tag creates enemies. So, maybe they're just going to use it to hold out hope that maybe they sign a deal elsewhere when the salary cap goes up. But we'll see. And then the last one with around the NFL, Matt Milano, first team All-Pro. Well-deserved. There you go, Matt Milano. You deserve it. Absolutely. Holy hell. I mean, we've been praising it all year, man. Like, it's been like, no, this dude, he's playing out of his mind.
He is.
We were like, everybody says he's like one of the best kept secrets in the NFL, just because like we paid him. And I think I brought it up on a show a few weeks ago. I don't remember what it was when we were talking about Matt Milano, but it was like there were so many teams that were going to be interested in him when he was coming up for free agency. And all the talk was about how Matt Milano was amazing and all this stuff. And then he just re-signed the Bills before free agency even opened, and everybody stopped talking about Matt Milano. Yep. It was just like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever.
He's an underrated guy on the market. Like, he could be a good pickup. And then it was like, oh, he's just another guy.
Yeah. Oh, he went to Boston College. He'd probably love to go play for the Patriots. And then, no, he signs back with the Bills because he's like, no, I want to be in Buffalo. And he's been balling out. I mean, this year, healthy Matt Milano has been absolutely amazing for us. I mean, you saw last year when we didn't have Matt Milano, guess what? Tight ends were destroying us. Guess what hasn't been happening this year? Tight ends haven't been destroying us as much. You can say the same thing about Tremaine Edmonds too, though. When he was out of the lineup, man.
I was going to say he should have been at least second team. But,
yeah, I was honestly expecting to see his name on there because I was like, for the contract extension, I was just completely waiting to see him on the first or second team, and no, I'm very surprised.
I'm actually, as bad as this is to say, I like Tremaine Edmonds, and I've been a big proponent of Tremaine Edmonds. Kind of glad he didn't get it, because it have made it pretty hefty. It's gonna be hefty.
Yeah, you can maybe knock $1 million off a year, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. But because he didn't get it, so it's like, all right, now we got at least a little more money to work with.
We'll sign him, and then I don't care if he gets a first team All-Pro.
Oh,
every year after that. Go off.
Yeah, go off.
Go off, bro. But let's talk about it. Tremaine Edmonds extension, right? Roquan Smith gets paid. I think it's like 5 years, $100 million. I think is the deal.
I think it was.
So, yeah, and I think like 60 of it's guaranteed. So that's that's kind of what I was expecting. For that. I feel like Tremaine, if he had gotten that All-Pro, maybe had been there, because Roquan Smith does have that on his resume. So, and probably if I'm Tremaine Edmonds' agent, I'm like, look, look at the statistics. He's been the captain of your defense, right? He's leads the team in tackles. Like, last week he finally got that first interception. We see so many Tremaine Edmonds. Just
to be fair, Milano's dropped a couple this year.
Yeah, he has. Milano and Edmonds both had one. So
if Milano catches a few of those interceptions, we are maybe undefeated now.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. Tremaine Edmonds, though, I see it being around the Roquan Smith deal. I mean, and I know a lot of people, are I didn't even there we go. We'll change that. A lot of people, for some reason, we talked about Lamar gets all this weird, unnecessary hate, right? Tremaine does too. And I just don't get it. I really don't. And Tremaine Edmonds this year is having the best year of his career. And, he's made 2 Pro Bowls before. I know the Pro Bowl is a popularity contest, but he's having the best year of his career this year. He bet on himself.
The Pro Bowl counts, guys. It does. I mean, You can feel how you want about the Pro Bowl game itself, but a Pro Bowl, it means something to the players. It means
you have respect around the league.
Yeah, that's a real thing. So, I don't understand why people try to downplay that. And they only try to do that when it comes to Tremaine. So,
So, I think that Tremaine Edmonds is going to get a Roquan Smith type deal. Whether you like it or not, it's coming.
I could see maybe 5 for 85.
Maybe
5 for 90.
Maybe the deal looks smaller, but maybe there's slightly
more guaranteed money.
Yeah, maybe
like that.
Maybe it's 5 years, $100 million. 61 million
or
guaranteed.
It might be backloaded deal where he's getting paid later down the line or something.
Yeah, whenever basically in 2 or 3 years when the salary cap is up, you're like, oh yeah, that's we've got him on the cheap. I mean, you think about what we've done before when we look at Tre'Davious White's contract, and we look at, right now how we're kind of looking at Josh Allen's contract. We're like, whew, glad we signed him. That's kind of what it's going to be. So, some people wanted to sign him last offseason. I was kind of in that camp. I was also in the camp of I would understand why maybe they don't.
Yeah.
Because they want more sample size to see what he looks like when you put all the pieces in front of him, which guess what? Career year. So there you go. There's your answer.
And he lost multiple pieces along the way, by the way.
Exactly. So they take that calculated risk. And maybe Tremaine Edmonds as well was like, hey, let me play this last year out. I'm going to bet on myself. And he's going out there and balling. He's going to get this deal and he's going to get paid. And a lot of people are like, oh, but if we pay him, how are we going to pay Jordan Poyer? How are we going to pay anybody else? It's just kind of like, I look at it this way. If there's 3 people you had to choose who you're paying, you're probably picking the dude who, one, had a career year, but also you call the captain of your defense. And as many people probably don't want to believe it or not, is that to be a GM, you got to have a little bit of arrogance, right? You got to have a little bit of Tremaine Edmonds is the second ever pick of Brandon Beane. His first 2 picks, Josh Allen, Tremaine Edmonds. He's extending Tremaine Edmonds. I don't think
no, you're right. Actually, that's a good point.
Yeah, he's not letting him walk. Because if he walks, he's gonna end up in Pittsburgh or something like that. So I think that you looking at something. You got what you seeing?
No, comment section is crazy.
Oh, comment section. I'll look at that in a second. But yeah, Tremaine Edmonds, you got to see he's going to get paid. If you had to choose between, I got to pay Jordan Poyer or Tremaine Edmonds, they're paying Tremaine Edmonds. It's just kind of how it's going to go.
Yeah. Rory Collins says maybe trade Ed Oliver, get some picks, and save that money from his 5th-year option. Take that cash and sign Edmonds.
I don't think they want to trade Ed either.
Why would they though? I don't mean to be disrespectful, Roy. All right, you're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah.
That just I don't understand the line of thinking. Another content creator, not my idea. You gotta be careful, Roy, because some of these people I'm sorry, Jake. Move on.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, with the Ed Oliver thing, I think that's another one where I understand he's a little undersized, right? Maybe he's not exactly what you look at when you go, oh, I need my 3 technique defensive lineman who's next to my big fat guy and my 1 tech. I need him doing a little bit more. But when we've actually had the whole line has been healthy and you've been able to have guys like Daquan Jones and Jordan Phillips next to him, dude, he's been good. I mean, he disrupts
even.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't see them trading Ed. I feel like there's many other moves that they'd probably make before they trade Ed Oliver.
They're not trading Ed Oliver. It's the same premise for Tremaine Edmonds. You have a young, talented guy who you drafted in the first round and has been a hit. I'm going to resign him.
Yeah, you kind of gotta, again, there's arrogance when it comes to sometimes it hurts for some of these GMs to want to admit that they fail on some guys, Cody Ford, and it takes them a lot longer to give up on them. But then when you got guys like Ed Oliver and Tremaine Edmonds and stuff, and they actually hit and they're effective players, you don't let those guys just walk unless, they let
a crazy offer comes across your table.
Yeah, they let Shaq Lawson walk because as much as, we all liked Shaq,
he was $10 million a year.
Yeah, he wasn't worth $10 million a year, So it's just kind of like, some of those players you got to be like, oh, okay, yeah. And I mean,
Jordan Phillips, he wasn't worth $10 million a year either. But we needed them badly, so we missed them, and things have been a lot better when they are in the lineup, quite frankly. But $10 million a year,
yeah, I think Ed Oliver is going to be on this team for the future. Tremaine Edmonds is going to be on this team in the future.
Brandon Beane is a magician. He'll make it work.
Yeah, he'll find a way to make it work. Because a lot of it, I mean, if you really want to be honest, a lot of it comes down to actually Terry and Kim, because you can make it work if you're willing to make more money in bonuses and stuff that you give these guys, that you're just handing them money. So that way you can make it work in the cap. That's why
all it is. They always convert as soon as they wait for them to get paid, and then the year that they're about to get paid, they convert their salary into a signing bonus or whatever, and then they just pay that money out of pocket basically, and then they're able to use the cap space.
Yeah. So it's I don't think that's going on. But Tremaine Edmonds, he's going to get paid this offseason. He will be a Buffalo Bill. He's not going anywhere. Playoff power rankings. So, of course, the playoffs are upon us. And where'd the season go, Justus?
It was a pretty long season, I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, Roy Collins, cash over cap. That's exactly what it's called. God, the season just blew by way too fast, man. And I first of all, if you're in here, smash that like button. If you're new here on YouTube, we're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. So, we're on the road to 1K. If you love these shows, we got shows almost every single day. We got new shows in development, all this stuff. The fan base just keeps getting bigger because we're one big family. So make sure, slap that like button. It supports us in 100 different ways. So playoff power rankings, Justus. So we got top 5 teams, and probably that also coincides with top 5 quarterbacks. So, top 5 teams. Do you want to go, or do you? Would you like me to?
I'll go real quick. You could start first with top 5 quarterbacks.
Okay.
Right? Because my starter is going to shock some people. Right? I'm going from the bottom up. Right?
Okay.
At number 5. I don't know why I'm talking about. Right? The Kansas City Chiefs are really, they're a top 5 team in the playoffs. They're a good team. They have a top 5 quarterback in this league. They have a top 2 tight end in this league. And they have a top 1 play caller in this league. So, They always find ways to make it work, and they have just the right amount of luck to make some shake. Right?
Mm-hmm.
At number 4, you have a team that has beaten the Kansas City Chiefs 3 times in a row. Actually, the current iteration of this team has not lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't even know what that feels like. So, number 4 is the Cincinnati Bengals, right? You got another top 5 quarterback. You got a running back who has a big mouth, but is pretty good. You got a top 3 wide receiver. That kid is amazing. Oh my God, he's amazing. I know I'm a hate because I had like a mini crush on Patrick Mahomes too. His first year, I was like, dude, this kid is incredible. My God. Now I hate him. I know the same thing is gonna happen with Jamar Chase because right now it's like, yo, that dude he's great.
Mm-hmm.
And in a couple years, I'm gonna hate the man. I know I am, but it's it is what it is. So the Bengals, yeah, they up there. But I don't think head to head that they would be able to beat my number 3 team, which is the San Francisco 49ers. I just think Kyle Shanahan is the best coach in the NFL. And I always say I think he's one up. I truly do think he's the best coach in the NFL. If Kyle Shanahan got a top 5 quarterback, it would not be fair. If Kyle Shanahan, if Trey Lance really was Josh Allen, dog, yo, okay, listen, all right. Like if the Bills had somebody like Kyle Shanahan calling our plays, we'd be 17-0 or 16-0. So Kyle Shanahan is the best quarterback, best coach. He's the best play caller. So the Chiefs don't have a top 1 play caller; they have a top 2 play caller. But I think the 49ers, their defense is always phenomenal. They got a top 3 edge rusher in Bosa. They a problem all around, if I'm being completely honest. And they might beat my number 2 team, but I don't know. The number 2 team has been looking like a wagon this year. I don't know where it came from or how it got here, but the Philadelphia Eagles have been balling out. Whenever they've had their starting quarterback, and you want to talk trash about Jalen Hurts, you want to say they could
second
do that.
Team All-Pro.
Hey, you want to say they could do that with anybody? They couldn't do it with Gardner Minshew, who's not bad himself. Gardner Minshew is a pretty decent quarterback. I'd say he's above average. So it's not just like a anybody type of thing. Obviously Jalen Hurts brings a lot to the table, and he makes them operate in a way that is just much more explosive and dominant. And my number 1 team is, the team that should be undefeated, realistically. Like, going blow for blow, if both teams are playing their best brand of football, there's no team in the NFL that could beat this team. The only team in the NFL that could beat this team is the Buffalo Bills. And my number 1 team is the Buffalo Bills. Anytime you see the Bills losing or not playing well, it's because they did something stupid. It's because they fumbled. Or it's because Josh threw a dumb interception. Which, by the way, y'all better chill on Josh and the interceptions, because Joe Burrow has 1 less interception or something like that. Patrick Mahomes has like 1 or 2 less. Like, it's not Josh is just this crazy turnover machine. All right, it happens. Relax. All right.
He still has one. He has 1 less turnover than he did at the end of last regular season. So.
Right. Like, people always going over, oh yeah, Josh is gonna give you a free 1 per game. Like, relax, dude, calm down. All right. Anyway, yeah.
Not in the postseason, he's not.
You know what? In the
14 touchdowns, 1 interception in the postseason.
You know what else he is in the postseason, Jake? He is the highest rated quarterback of all time.
Yep.
Every other quarterback that has had the privilege of playing in the playoffs, Josh Allen rated higher than them.
Oh, trust me. I know. I made I made that little post that said, Josh Allen is Mr. Postseason. And oh boy, I had all of the little trolls from all the fan bases crawling out. The Chiefs fans, he hasn't won anything in the playoffs. He doesn't have a Super Bowl.
Whatever.
Bengals fans,
not what I
you
said.
can't say that. You would have lost to us. And like all this stuff.
God,
I'm just like,
dog,
I had to mute that post, dude. I could not do it anymore.
We would have slapped the Bengals around last year in the playoffs, bro.
Oh,
my
man.
God. All right, but Jake, you watch baseball, bro?
I do watch baseball.
You've heard of the little team called the New York Yankees, right?
Yeah, I have. I legitimately hate them with every bone in my body, which I know a lot of people in Bills Mafia love the Yankees.
I'm actually a Red Sox fan. So
okay, well there you go. You'd like my older brother then. He's a Red Sox fan.
Yeah. So you remember a little guy by the name of Reggie Jackson?
Yeah, I do.
Mr. October.
Mm-hmm.
Boy shined in the playoffs, okay? Josh Allen is Mr. January. All right. Now it's time for him to be Mr. February. But right now, Josh is Mr. January. He's Josh January Allen. Okay. Yeah. January Josh Allen. Whatever you want to do.
January Josh. There you go.
Josh is Mr. January.
So
when it comes to the postseason, it's time to get it popping.
I love that because my original post when I called him Mr. Postseason was referencing Mr. WrestleMania from Shawn Michaels. Guess what? Shawn Michaels didn't win every match at WrestleMania, but damn did he put on a show.
Absolutely.
He put on a show. That's why I was calling Josh Mr. Postseason, because 14-1, best passer rating in history of all people with 150 minimum passes in the playoffs. Just all those stats. I wanted to actually put those stats on here so everybody could see that little graphic, but still, he's amazing. That's why I call him Mr. Postseason. But he's got to win one before you can call him that. Whatever.
That's hate.
Whatever. Y'all hating.
Hate.
Don't worry. I have all of those tweets bookmarked, so that I will give them to you because I know you like making those videos. I'll give you every single one of those.
I'll give y'all the attention you're looking for. I promise.
Yeah, we can give them that. But let me go into my top 5 teams.
Okay,
we agree. Number 5, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, look, they're the number 1 seed, and
Look.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse number 1 seed.
Mickey's in the chat.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. I've just seen them. They're not playing their best football. I'm sorry. They're not. And they played that Raiders team. I'm sorry. The ring around the rosy thing, was it cool? Yeah. Was it arrogant though? Yes. And I'm like, all right.
Is it cool though? Is it cool, Jake? Is it cool?
First time you see it, you're kind of like, oh, they're just fucking with them, right? Oh, I'm sorry. That was they're just messing with them. They're just messing with them.
Jordan.
I know it's a family show. I'm sorry. Maybe it's PG-13. We get one F word. All right.
Oh, that's true.
So so we get one F word. No, man. Like the Raiders are buns, dude. Like they weren't gonna have any business in that game. That team was tanking.
Honestly, the fact that the Raiders was so close to winning the first game says a lot about the Chiefs.
I mean, the Chiefs lost to the Frank Reich Colts at the beginning of the season. They had to go to overtime to beat Malik Willis. They had to go to overtime to beat Davis Mills on the Texans. They're just not playing.
And they were a Justin Herbert goal line interception away from losing to the Chargers.
Yeah. So
Jake, make the show
I'm sorry, Roy. I did it. But yeah, I don't think they're playing their best football. They're gonna get this bye, and depending on who they're gonna play, I surely hope it's the Chargers. I really hope it is, because I don't think the Jaguars are beating or maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe Doug Peterson.
Are we doing playoff picks?
We will. We will be talking about it. So we're gonna do the first round. So we'll be doing that. But yeah, the Chiefs are number 5. Number 4, I'm sorry, but I got the Philadelphia Eagles here.
Ooh.
And I like the Philadelphia Eagles.
Jalen Hurts is back.
I know.
Okay.
I got the Philadelphia Eagles here because they beat some bum teams this year, man. Some bums in the NFC, man. And, coming down the stretch here, even if they've beat the Cowboys, I know, like they lost to the Cowboys the first time, I think. Or almost lost to Cooper Rush. And that was like at the height of the Eagles. I just think the Eagles are kind of like, I don't know. They feel like a team when I look at them and I'm like,
are you going to say the F word? You're not about
No, I'm not saying frauds.
Okay.
They're still a good team. I think the 49ers are better than them. Hands down, I think that.
I'm not mad at that.
Head to head, I think the 49ers give them fits. I think they do.
Yeah. I said when I was going from my 3-2, I was like, I don't know if the number 2 team could beat this team, but so yeah, okay, I feel you there.
Yeah, but it's it leads me to number 3, the 49ers. I got the 49ers at number 3. Their downfall will be if they get down big in a game. That will be their downfall because right now they haven't really had to deal with that. They've been beating up on teams and they've been using their running game, and Brock Purdy's just been, not making mistakes and kind of just keeping them in the game long enough for them to finish it out. And that defense is historic. It is a Super Bowl defense. I think that, their problem is if they get down big, Brock Purdy, we haven't had to see yet what Brock Purdy is able to do whenever he's facing a really, really good defense and he's down big. We haven't had to see that yet. I would assume with Kyle Shanahan calling the plays, probably would be just fine, but we haven't seen it yet. So I can't make that distinction.
I don't know how they get down big with that defense, but I feel you.
Yeah. Number 2, I got the Bengals here. And I think that the Bengals, I genuinely think they probably would have beat the Bills in that game.
Okay.
I think they do. And I think that with the Bills and Bengals both beating the Chiefs in the regular season, I think they both do it if they have to play them in the postseason. I think that those are the 2 best teams in the AFC. I think the Bengals probably beat the Bills in that game. Do I think that they beat the Bills when they meet them in the playoffs? No, I don't. I think that the Bills kind of, and this is hard for me. I feel like I'm kind of sitting here trying to defend the Bills. Like, oh no, I said they'd lose to the Bengals, but they wouldn't lose in the postseason to them. I think that just the way that game was going, it really felt like maybe the Bills weren't fully all there, but I only saw half of a quarter of a game. So I don't know. And then number 1, I have the Bills because, well, I think this is a team of destiny. I think this team is ready to kick some butt. I'm going to try to keep it PG there. I think they're ready to kick butt. And if they meet the Bengals in the divisional round, which there's probably a good chance that happens, they beat them. I think they beat them. I think that this team is just they're ready, getting healthier at kind of the right time. That game, I mean, I just look at our offense and I go, the 5 wide receivers we're going to have now, I'm assuming that Isaiah McKenzie is not going to play because of the hamstring. We're going to have Diggs, Davis, John Brown, Cole Beasley, and Khalil Shakir. Like, I think the Bills are going to be able to go at you 100 different ways. And I've maybe felt like now that they've had a few weeks to kind of prepare with these weapons and kind of get them more involved, get them back up to speed, I think that they're going to be a team that if you try to go blow to blow with the Bills, which I think the Bengals would in the playoffs, the Bills defense is better. And that's what's going to be the difference maker. So that's why the Bills are number 1 on my team. It was a really, really hard choice for me to put the Bengals over the 49ers because that 49ers defense is, oh man, there's a reason why everybody's saying Bills 49ers is kind of like their pick going into, because it just feels like everybody wants to see that defense against the Bills offense and see what's going to happen. I mean, that's Super Bowl material right there, so we'll see. But that's my top 5. And, just to save some time, I'll go right into my top 5 QBs since I have to do that first anyway. Number 5, Justin Herbert. I got Herbert at number 5, just kind of because I'm looking at the playoffs and I'm like, that quarterback's hurt. Okay. Like this, we got Geno Smith in here who everybody, look, Geno said they tried to write me off. I didn't write back. Geno, dude, he has the most passing yards of any Seahawks quarterback in a single season, which is crazy that he set that record. Yeah. Russell Wilson, he has more yards than Russell Wilson ever had in a single season. But Geno, man, he fell off hard in the last few games before the last game of the season where they needed to win.
Russ going out so bad. Oh my
dude,
God.
I
can't believe I called him the best quarterback in the league.
It's nuts, right? That Geno is now the single season record.
That honestly tells you a
blow
lot.
Your brain, dude?
It tells you a lot. It truly does.
It's crazy. Number 4, I have Jalen Hurts.
Real quick, I don't mean to cut you off, but
go ahead.
Is Pete Carroll actually one of the best coaches in the NFL?
Hey,
he might be a top 5 coach and we just never knew. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right, I'm sorry. Number 4 is
I got Jalen Hurts at number 4. And I know second team All-Pro Jalen Hurts. What are we talking about here? First of all, Josh Allen should be second team All-Pro. Look at the stats. I mean, Jalen Hurts, he was hurt. Maybe they're like, well, that's why they still put him in there over him, because if he was actually playing, he'd probably have better stats than Josh Allen. Whatever. I don't care. You can't tell me that was going to happen, because it didn't. So he was hurt. No, but I think Jalen Hurts.
Say that a lot about other team or a lot of other players in other seasons when they get injured. So
yeah, I think that Jalen Hurts, he's kind of got the same thing, because the guy that I have ahead of him is kind of like the same argument, right? All the weapons around him make him kind of what he is, right? Before this, when he didn't have when he didn't have just AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, where it was just Devontae Smith, it wasn't exactly the greatest of times for Jalen Hurts. He was still doing his running thing, all that stuff. It just wasn't working. They get him a true number 1, and he's starting to put it together. He's got all the weapons around him. Dude's got elite running backs. The offensive line is playing absolutely crazy. You got all the weapons in the world out wide, and dude's just absolutely been killing it. But I don't know if you take AJ Brown away, if he doesn't revert back to Jalen Hurts what he looked like last year, So I think that sometimes, while he's got that escapability, and that is a plus for him, I just don't think that he necessarily always makes the right decisions. And I don't think if he had AJ Brown to bail him out sometimes, that he'd be, in that top upper tier of quarterbacks that we have him in this year. So
I agree with you. I will, however, say Ryan Tannehill had AJ Brown for mad long and didn't look half as good.
Yeah, because they also had Derrick Henry. So they were utilizing him completely different. Next one, I got Joe Burrow for the same exact reason. Is that Joe Burrow? What is Joe Burrow if you take away Jamar Chase and T. Higgins? We don't know. We've never had to see it. Actually, we did when it was just T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't amazing. So, but I think Burrow kind of, with his style of play, even when he got hurt that year, he was still playing particularly well before he got hurt. So I think that kind of, even with the less weapons, we've seen Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's never been trash, where you're like, oh, they got to move on from this dude. Like, he's always been Yeah, he's been okay. He's been all right. Jalen Hurts, his first year it wasn't too pretty. I mean, my Philly fan friends were like, "Why?" I mean, they're just sitting here like, we drafted Jalen Hurts, and they're like, put him in. Carson Wentz is a bum, and then they put Jalen Hurts in, and they're like, oh, maybe we do we put Carson back in? No, we can't do that. Like we can't. So I think that those guys are kind of, you can interchange them. I think you can interchange Hurts and Burrow depending on who you like better. If you think that Hurts being able to run and be a little bit more elusive puts him over Burrow, I'm not mad. So, and then Mahomes, I've got it 2, and Josh Allen, I have it 1, because again, we've had this discussion 800 billion zillion times. Josh Allen elevated weapons around him earlier in his career and didn't just automatically get handed Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce to start out with. We've seen Josh Allen make more with less. I know Mahomes has also done that this year, right? Where he's taken these guys that aren't necessarily really, really good, and they've still had a really, really effective offense with it. But he's still, I don't know, man. I still think that it's conjecture, really is. Josh Allen, Mahomes, 1A, 1B. Again, Chiefs fans are going to have Mahomes over Allen. Bills fans, we're going to pick Allen over Mahomes. I think it's just that simple. I think that Josh Allen makes a lot. Let me find the right way to phrase this. I feel like Josh Allen is better at reading defenses, and I know somebody's going to say, oh, well, he's got more interceptions. Okay. But Josh Allen, a lot of the interceptions that we've seen this year have just been, either a tip or something like that, where it's not completely on Josh Allen, where I saw Mahomes throw 3 interceptions in one game this year. And it was just completely, there were no tips, there were nothing. It was just right to the defender. Yeah. And I've seen Josh Allen also throw some right to defenders. And we've heard Josh Allen after the game just be like, Spencer Brown stood up, and Spencer Brown's a big guy. And he was like, I didn't see that guy standing there when I threw the ball. So it's kind of just stuff like that. I think these guys are interchangeable as well. So 1 and 2 are interchangeable, 3 and 4 are interchangeable, but that's my top 5. What about you?
Well, my top 5 looks a little different.
Go ahead.
Looks really different, honestly. Except number
That's
5.
why we do the show.
Yeah. Except number 5. Number 5, we have the same. I have Justin Herbert. Like you, I looked at the playoffs, teams in the playoffs, and I'm like, okay.
Lamar, I would have put Lamar there
at number 5.
If Lamar was playing.
Okay. Just looking at the playoff picture, and I'm just like, all right, a lot of teams, not necessarily great quarterbacks. Your Brady is not playing well this year. Rodgers didn't even make the playoffs. Kyler Murray is not here. You know what I mean? That type of thing. So I was like, Herbert is a top 5 quarterback in this class. Number 4, I would have had Lamar if he was healthy.
Okay.
All right. But instead, I guess me and you, we got number 4 the same too. We got Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
I just like his mobility. I like how he's developed as a passer.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we discredit Jalen Hurts for a lot of the reasons we credit people like Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. Because we say he has a great wide receiver. He has a great play caller. He has great this and that. You know what I mean? But Patrick Mahomes has had the best play caller, or one of the best play callers in the league. He's had one of the best wide receivers for most of his career. He's had the best tight end in the league for his career. He's had a good offensive line for all but 1 year. He's had an actual run game that was pretty convincing behind him every year. He's had a ton to work with. Joe Burrow had everything in the world to work with all but 1 year, this rookie year. So I don't want to discredit Hurts for, things that I feel like other quarterbacks also benefit from. So I got Hurts at number 4. Lamar will be there if he was not injured. We had number 3 the same too. We had the same list.
Okay, yeah. I'm sitting here like,
wait, who's left?
I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah. I was just like, dang.
You're like, damn. I heard that stat and I had to put Geno at number 1.
No, seriously, Pete Carroll is.
That's whack. It's crazy.
That tells you a lot, honestly. In the seeing way Russ plays without Pete, very alarming.
Imagine like me telling you, I don't know, but like 4 or 5 years ago, Geno Smith will be the all-time passing yards record holder for the Seattle Seahawks. You're gonna be like, what are you smoking?
Right.
Like, dude, get out of here with that.
That's crazy. But yeah, I got Joe Burrow at number 3. Hey, I mean, look, man, as much as I maybe don't necessarily believe in him or that team, they are playing good football. They look like they have the capability to be as dominant as they want to be. And I can't hate on it. I can't hate on it any longer. You know, those guys are playing at an extremely high level right now. I think they could possibly be on upset alert, but I'm not mad at it. All right. So Burrow at number 3. Yeah.
And Mahomes Allen?
Mahomes Allen, yes. Because like you said, we talked about it for 1 million hours and a billion times. But yeah, I just, again, same reason. So when you look at Josh Allen and you say, oh, his turnover, his usage is stupid.
Yeah.
His usage is crazy higher than any other quarterback in the league. He is used on virtually every play, and I know every quarterback is used it. If the yards that aren't coming from Josh Allen have to be like 25%. That. Like he literally will create 75 to 80% of the offense, whether it's passing, whether it's running, whether it's creating opportunities for other people. You know what I mean? Like Josh Allen, what they ask him to do is absolutely nuts. Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback. He is all universe, just like Josh Allen is. But again, and I just said I don't want to put on Hurts the same things I put on Patrick Mahomes, but I'm going to put this on Patrick Mahomes. He has had everything handed to him.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that sounds bad. He's worked for it, obviously. But, like, they put him in the best position, and I know that's not his fault. Like, I get it. But he doesn't have as much on his shoulders as Josh has. You know, people are – even if he does lose or something happens, he's going to get the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? Like it's not nearly as much pressure. You know, so I think Josh is the best quarterback in the playoffs, and plus he's the highest rated quarterback of all time. So
yep, there you go. So, you know, we're kind of in the postseason. There's a lot of teams that aren't here, obviously, and a lot of them have told their coaches, "Hey, you know what? We're done with this. Get out of the building. We're done." You know. And one of those was the Carolina Panthers, who, you know, even though I think that their interim head coach was really good, I mean, I cannot explain. Like, that team was supposed to be dead. Like, but yet Steve Wilkes is just like, no, they're not dead. We're gonna be contending at least up until the end. But yet Carolina's still like, you know, thank you. The players are like, no, we kind of want this guy to be our head coach. And they're like, well, we're going to put out a couple of feelers to see who we can get. One of those was Ken Dorsey. Is one of the – I didn't spell possibly right here. Please don't kill me for that. I'll fix that really quick. But I don't take this very seriously at all, right? But Ken Dorsey was requested for an interview to be a head coach possibly for the Carolina Panthers, because we know the history that Ken Dorsey has with that organization. It's just kind of like, why wouldn't they do it? Ken Dorsey has been the offensive coordinator for the second best offense in the National Football League. Whether you want to say that's more Ken Dorsey than it is Josh Allen, I mean, we can debate that till the cows come home. But I'll tell you right now, it's Josh Allen.
I was about to say, because we wouldn't be debating that.
Yeah, I don't think we're debating that, but some people maybe. I don't know. But if Ken Dorsey were to leave for a head coaching position, Justus, would this be a good or a bad thing? You're gonna get in. You're gonna say it would be a good thing.
It would be a good thing. I'm just being real, okay? It would be a good thing. I like Ken Dorsey, and I wanted him to be our OC, but you kind of see like how inexperienced he is a lot, and maybe he'll change my mind with these playoffs, and he'll really go deep into the playbook and show us something. So. But as of right now, it's like is Josh back in pass? Mm-hmm. That's what I coined the phrase. Josh back in pass. Like it's just Josh dropping back and seeing what he can do. He's like, oh, you run a slant, all right, you run an out, okay, you run a streak, and Josh, you just if you can't see something, then run or play the scramble drill. Like it's just Josh making plays. Oh yeah, we'll give you a generic run every now and again. Sometimes we'll do a pre-snap motion. Like it's so vanilla. Mm-hmm. And you think his lucky stars, he is the most talented quarterback who's ever put on a helmet. But I mean, listen, I didn't think Brian Daboll was that good of an OC, or at least as good of a play caller. I don't want to say not good of an OC because they do coordinate the offense extremely well. Both of them. They're not great play callers sometimes. No, you know what? The thing is, they are great play callers. And that's what ticks me off when they are so vanilla, because it's like, bro, I've seen what you can do. Like, I've seen the plays that you drew up.
I've seen the plays you've drawn up.
Thank you, Jake. So you know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand why we don't see any of that in games. Like, are you scared to call those plays? Do you, just think it's better? I mean, and if that's the truth, then I could see it. Like, do I trust this play that, I drew up, or do I trust Josh Allen to drop back and pass and make a play for us? Like, I mean, that's not a bad bet for Josh Allen to drop back and pass, make a play for you. But I'm just looking at the Chiefs offense and I'm like, yo, we don't do none of that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's none of this. So it's just.
I mean, that's another thing if you want to give it. Patrick Mahomes has had the same offensive coordinator his entire career. Yeah. Eric Bieniemy, still there.
For whatever
still the same offensive coordinator. Don't know why. He must be the worst interview for a head coach ever.
Dog must be an a-hole, or
he must be terrible, because how do you coach that offense for so many years and you haven't become a head coach when you got guys like Sean McVay or guys like that who were offensive coordinator, Mike McDaniel, who were offensive coordinators for 1 year and then got a head coaching job right away when they were coaching a good offense? I just don't get it.
And this ain't Ken Dorsey hate, by the way. Okay? No. First of all, we're holding the man accountable because he has a job to do, and we talk about football. That's what we do, okay? So, like, I'm not attacking him. He has a 13-3 team and number 2 offense. Like, obviously, like I say, he coordinates the offense extremely well. And I know that he can be a good play caller because I've seen those scripted plays where they come out the half and go crazy, where they come out in the first quarter and go crazy. I've seen it. So I know you can call plays. You just don't. I don't know. Like you just don't make adjustments, or he'll waste drives completely. But a lot of it is the offense doing extremely stupid things, where an offensive lineman will get called for a holding and back us up 10 yards behind the chains, or like somebody will just randomly fumble while we're getting in our groove. Like a lot of stupid stuff does happen that isn't really on him. But I don't think he should be getting head coach. Calls yet.
And I mean, I just got to prepare everybody. Remember the first 2 years were like, oh, get rid of Brian Daboll. Oh, he was getting these head coaching things, and we're like, oh, why? I hope he's gone, And then finally, year 3, Brian Daboll, we're like, oh, okay, this is good. And then they're like, oh, Brian Daboll is going to be interviewing. And we're like, no, he's got to stay. And he somehow stayed last offseason because the Chargers decided that they wanted to hire a head coach right away and didn't want to wait for Brian Daboll. And now the Giants got him. But no, Ken Dorsey, I mean, you can just see he's inexperienced. If I have to see one more time where at the end of routes, 2 wide receivers are in the same exact spot.
Oh my God,
dude! If I have to see that, like I'm just sitting here going, Ken, what are we doing? What is this call?
Yeah, right.
Like I don't know. You can tell. I think over the next couple of years, he's going to get better. I think they're just doing their due diligence. But
you're right. But no, and I think it's true, and it's also a good opportunity for him to know how to interview. Should that thing come. But at the same time, the reason I say it would be a good thing, and this is not a slight to Ken Dorsey, but for us, we just watched an offensive coordinator have to grow and mature for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So to see some of the mistakes we saw our offensive coordinator make in his infancy, it's like to have to watch that over again and to have to like, oh my God, do we have to wait another 2-3 years before we win a Super Bowl because he hasn't matured yet? And then, God forbid, that happens, and then we don't win a Super Bowl, but we're finally at our peak performance. Then he gets a head coaching job, and it's like, okay, all right.
I don't necessarily think it'd be a bad thing because I like Joe Brady, and I know a lot of people.
I like Frank Reich.
Frank Reich too wouldn't be mad, even though a lot of people say that with Frank Reich, Nick Sirianni was the guy who was like really like behind Frank, like, oh, look at all this creative stuff that we can make, and that's why Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni are like a match made in heaven over in Philly. So.
Was Sirianni with Frank Reich in Philadelphia?
Yes,
originally?
Yes, he was an assistant under Frank Reich. So that's why a lot of people are like, yeah, that's why Frank, when he went to the Colts, he didn't have Sirianni pretty much anymore, and that's kind of what happened. But anyway, I like Joe Brady because one, Joe Brady was the scapegoat for the Carolina Panthers whenever they stunk. They were like, oh, we're going to get rid of the offensive coordinator. Joe Brady helped develop one of the most explosive offenses in college football history with Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Joe Burrow. Like, it was historic, the numbers they were putting up. And then he comes to the NFL with Matt Rule. He becomes an offensive coordinator, but then they start to stink for 1.5 years. And, you know, they don't have the right pieces there. And then they're like, well, we got to do something. And they get rid of the offensive coordinator. The dude is so creative and has such a bond already with Josh Allen. Supposing he's the guy who's just like 1-0, like the energy there. He's like a dude that everybody loves, and everybody says the same thing about Dorsey. I'm not saying that this is something he has over him, but the creativity that Joe Brady has shown throughout his entire career of coaching makes me think that if he were for some reason given the offensive coordinator job, which after 1 year, I don't think they probably would. They'd probably bring in somebody at that point more experienced. I feel like he could go crazy with this offense, and it wouldn't be as vanilla.
That's what I thought, though.
And he's been an offensive coordinator before.
And that's what I thought. When you tell me that you have Joe Brady, you have a Shula, you have Ken Dorsey, who studied under Brian Daboll all these years, and as best friends with Josh Allen, basically. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a match made in heaven. We're about to be awesome. And I mean, we're awesome, but it's only because of Josh. Now
there's hiccups, you know,
only, but
you can still see it.
Yes, exactly. It's just, I thought we'd be more creative. And you know what? I do want to acknowledge that I'm being spoiled right now. Okay.
Oh yeah. No. We're still a damn good team, dude.
Yeah, we're a damn good team. We're a damn good offense, and he's a damn good offensive coordinator. I just want to see more creativity. That's it. I just want to see more creativity.
Let Joe Brady kind of dial up a few plays for you, Ken. Let's get some input.
Unimind.
Yeah. We've got one of my favorite sections. It's not as long, but you know, I love it. It's what's more likely.
Justus. What's more Likely.
Yeah, I hope one next year, maybe a little graphics like that for these
crazy.
segments. That'll be awesome. But we're gonna start the music up a little bit. So I am so excited to bring these what's more likely's up because I feel like there's some heaters here. We're gonna start with this one, Justus. What's more likely? Dang it, I left the banner up. First one seed to lose, Chiefs or the Philadelphia Eagles?
That's a good one. The NFC kind of weak. I ain't gonna lie. The NFC kind of weak. Like, the bad teams are extremely bad. And when I look at the AFC, I'm kind of like, you might mess around and get a pretty decent team that, you know, you wasn't expecting to face. Like, for instance, let's say that the Ravens beat the Bengals, right? And now Lamar Jackson is back. And now you got to see Lamar Jackson in that defense. And it's like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, that's not like nothing. You know what I mean? It's a pretty big deal, right? So I would say much more likely in this scenario is that the Chiefs would lose because, I mean, they've had a great season, don't get me wrong, but they have shown chinks in the armor. So
I got you. I think too that the Eagles, they could possibly get the Cowboys or the Bucks, you know, in that second round. Yeah, so I think that more likely if you look at the AFC, the Chiefs are either going to get the Chargers or the Jaguars, who are two teams that have two pretty decent defenses, right?
The Eagles might get the Giants, though, because the Giants play the Vikings, and I could totally see them beating them.
Hey, and, you know, I'm pretty sure that last game of the year, it was only 16. I think the Eagles won like 22-16, and that was with the Giants resting guys. And the Eagles were playing that game to win the number 1 seed. Yeah. So, yeah, that was that might be a matchup that they don't want. Could you imagine Brian Daboll in his first year taking that Giants team if they beat the Eagles in the divisional to an NFC championship game?
Oh, shoot.
That would be absolutely ridiculous.
Don't let them go to the Super Bowl before Sean McDermott.
I swear, dude. Bills media will be
crazy.
Just
Buffalo will go crazy. But, yeah.
Absolutely obnoxious. But the next what's more likely, Justus? What's more likely? The Seahawks upset the 49ers or the Ravens upset the Bengals?
They're both very likely, honestly. Not very likely. Let's say they're
divisional matchups, so
they're both extremely possible. I will say. I think that Harbaugh has a way more playoff experience than Zach Taylor. Granted, Zach Taylor made a Super Bowl last year. Harbaugh's been doing this for a long time, and he's also played. He's also coached Super Bowls. Rather, I think he's won one actually.
Yep.
So,
Flacco, baby.
I think because Tyler Huntley is playing and not Lamar Jackson,
maybe Tyler Huntley's a game time decision.
Oh my God! So here's my thing. Third stringer. I don't like Geno versus the 49ers defense. And because I don't like that, I'm going to go with the Ravens.
Yeah, I don't know. Geno still hasn't written back yet, man. Like, you know, he may be ready. Who knows? Geno in the
I ain't ready back.
Nobody is picking the Seahawks in this matchup.
They shouldn't. They're the 7th seed versus the 2 seed.
I know, but like if you're the Seahawks and you got a guy like Pete Carroll who you've seen, I
don't see how Seahawks can see that as like motivation. I can see how you see it as motivation, but like, I mean,
you lost
mad games, dog. Like you were horrible the first 7 years of your career. Like, like, all right, you going good now. We rooting for you. Just relax.
Hey, I mean, I'll be rooting for Geno. I know a lot of people want to root for Brock Purdy and the Niners, but I would root for
Super Bowl. Oh yeah, I'm rooting for Geno.
Yeah, I'll be rooting for Geno. And if Tyler Huntley plays, hell yeah, I'm gonna be rooting for the Ravens.
Same.
Like that would be absolutely amazing. But I think that I don't know. That's a hard one, Which one's more likely? I love that picture of Geno, by the way. That like just screams like dog. Like he's in his bag right there.
I like those uniforms too.
I'm not big on them.
I'm colorblind, so that much color excites me.
Yeah. So those dull purple ones of the Ravens, you don't like that, huh?
I mean, I don't dislike them, but I just like the green, the neon green.
I think if Tyler Huntley plays, they've got a lot better shot of beating the Bengals. But right now, if I had to go, the third stringer is playing the Bengals, which they already did last week and got absolutely blown out of the water.
Yeah.
And also, why are there so many divisional matchups in the playoffs this year? We have legitimately, there's
3 at least.
3. Yeah, we got to play the Dolphins. Then we got Bengals, Ravens, 49ers, Seahawks. What else? I feel like I'm missing one. No, because then it's Jaguars, Chargers, and then there's 3 already. It's so weird, man. Like 3 divisional matchups already this week. But we're gonna move into the last one here, Justus. I gotta know what's more likely: Tom Brady beats the Cowboys, or the Vikings choke versus the Giants.
Oh my God, yo, you did good with these because I can see all this stuff happening. If
I know it's hard, man.
Yeah. Sheesh. You know what? I think that the Cowboys' heartbreak is going to be devastating this year. I think they're going to. I think they're going to give their team like, oh my God, we might actually do it, and then lose in the most heartbreaking way ever. So I'm going to say that they beat the Buccaneers, but I could 1,000,000% see Kirk Cousins throwing 17 interceptions and they lose.
I could too. The Vikings.
I might vote against the Vikings if I'm being honest.
Dude. So I'm going to click in here and see, because this was a matchup that just happened. The Vikings, last time they played the Giants, which was 3 weeks ago, they only won by 3 points. It was a close game. So I don't know. This is a hard one because Tom Brady is 6-0 versus the Cowboys in his career. And doesn't it just make sense that the Cowboys have this, they've got this historic, they've got a Super Bowl defense and all this, and they've got Zeke and Pollard, and they're going crazy, and then Tom Brady just comes in and said, like, the one matchup that I know Cowboys fans did not want to see, they're like, please, just anybody but Brady in the first round. And then they were like, no, statistically, you have like a 99% chance of getting Brady in the first round. Cowboys fans right now, most of them think they're going to lose.
That's crazy.
To Brady. And that's what the Buccaneers looking like garbage.
Have some class.
Yeah, like they look like garbage. And the Cowboys are still like, we're going to lose. We're going to lose. That's Tom Brady. It just almost feels inevitable, doesn't it? Like that Tom Brady's going to go in there and he's going to be like, no, I'm not losing to you guys. Go home. And then it's going to be another heartbreaker. And
that happens. You gotta retire as a Cowboys fan. How could you? How could you continue?
Dude, if Tom Brady wins this week against the Cowboys, no, if he wins, he will in his career have more postseason wins than the Cowboys do in their entire franchise history. What? Okay, guys, if you're watching, you got to let us know. What was the bigger stat drop? That right there, or Geno being the number one?
Geno.
Yeah, it's got to be Geno, right?
Geno. That's nuts. Like, that is nuts.
When you look in the history books from now on, Geno Smith will be the leader in yards for a single season. That is absolutely nuts.
Shame on you, Russ. Shame on you, Russ.
Why'd you have to throw it in the Super Bowl? Just hand it to beast
let,
mode.
You just gonna let a man come into your kitchen, take the chicken out of your fryer, and eat it. Slapped your wife on the butt on the way, dog. You dog. That's bad.
I was about to say that's like you leaving home and then you see on the Ring camera there's another dude cooking in your kitchen with your wife.
Yeah.
Like, oh, bro. But that's what's more likely. So, you know, I thought we had some pretty good ones this week. There were a couple of other ones I had in mind, but I thought that those three were the big ones.
Let's get one more. One more.
I don't have any more.
Oh, I thought you said another one.
No, like none that I've typed up. I was gonna have like
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just one more.
Oh,
like,
okay.
On the free.
Here we go. Let's go right off the top of my head. What's more likely? Brock Purdy gets his first playoff win, or Justin Herbert gets his first playoff win?
That's another good one, because I can see both of them happening. Brock Purdy.
It's got to be, right. They're playing the Seahawks, and he's got that defense. That's what I'm thinking. But man, I was very torn because, hey, no matter what happened, remember when Josh Allen had to play Lamar Jackson, and it was kind of just like in the playoffs, and it was like, hey, whoever's the guy who wins this game is going to have, you know, a playoff win.
The farthest from the truth, because it was a defensive game.
Yeah. And I feel like I look at the Chargers and Jags game. One guy's going to get out of there with his first ever playoff win. And I don't know who it's going to be. I actually cannot wait for that game. Do you think it's Trevor Lawrence?
I coughed a little bit. You
know? All right. Well, we'll do that whenever we actually just put in some game picks as well. Kind of just like we've actually got the pick'em games where I have the three set up that we usually do, but we'll also go over the games for the weekend and kind of give who we think is going to win them. Right. So what's more likely? That was hopefully one day we can say like what's more likely presented by Labatt Blue, you know, or something like that. You know, that'd be cool. Bills versus Dolphins wildcard game. Wow, the whole name of the show is like the Buffalo Bills wild card playoff fishing trip, and we haven't talked about the Bills Dolphins game yet. Hour and 20 minutes in. Dude, I was having a conversation last night with my dad, and usually, you know, we sit there. He's a Bills fan who's always just like, oh, you know, I watched the 4 Super Bowls, no games ever guaranteed, blah blah blah. And he's like, if we lose this game, I am going to become a Steelers fan.
Oh, Lord.
I'm done. Because we should not lose this game.
No, we shouldn't.
Like, I don't even think it mattered if Tua was in, which I'm going to give the Dolphins prop. I'm glad they didn't put Tua in there. However, I think it's only because what doctor wants to sign off on Tua being put in the game after he had 3 concussions? Like, I'm not going to put it past the Dolphins organization that they wouldn't have thrown Tua out there, but I don't know, man.
We was arguing about this on the radio. Me, Mookie, Andre, and Jamal.
Yeah,
we was arguing. I was like, "There's no way," because I think I genuinely believe the Dolphins would have sent Tua back out there.
I do too.
It was up to them, right? I think that the NFL was like, there's no way you're sending Tua back out there. Because God forbid Tua hit that turf and get his 4th concussion in one season.
Mm-hmm. In the playoffs on national television.
The lawsuits, the advertisers pulling their oh my God.
Just doesn't make sense. You want to be the doctor that signs off on that? No. Like that's probably why I don't put it past the Dolphins that they wouldn't have rolled him out there. I just think there wasn't a doctor who, in his good conscience, could actually sign off on that for Tua.
A lot of doctors are saying, bro, you should never play again.
Yeah. After 3 in one season, dude. Like,
yeah.
I mean, you were an athlete, you know, just like I know. Every time you get one, they always say, it's just easier to get your next one. It's just, that's how it is. Like, you see, it's almost like every time you get one, it's just easier to get the next one. So, you know, I had a couple of games where
it's like chicken pox.
Yeah, pretty much. I've been slammed on many of wrestling mats and had my screws shaken up a little bit in my head. Or, you know, you go up for a rebound and you get your legs taken out from under you and your head's just slapped the floorboards on a basketball court.
Or when you walking through a doorway and you hit your head on the, you know, or when you walking into somebody's basement and I know you know that one. I know you know that one.
Yeah.
Walking into somebody's basement.
Yeah. My literally my uncle's basement, my hair. I'm glad you didn't come that night. My hair is like this with that ceiling. And you know, you're like 5 inches taller than me. So like you would have been like all night, like that. So yeah, no, but that was it's crazy. I think that Skylar Thompson, look, if anybody watched the game last week, you gotta know. And I know there's Fins fans out there that are just like, oh, Skylar Thompson, he's gonna be the guy. I think he's better than Tua anyway, blah, 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 whatever. You scored 9 points last week. 9. And I know everyone's gonna be like, oh, but the score was actually 6-11. No, that I do not count that the Jets throwing the ball, lateraling it, and then you landing on it in the end zone because they couldn't do anything with it. Like, you didn't score those points. Your offense was pedestrian. It was terrible. And you're telling me that, and I get it, that's the Jets, and they've got a really good defense. The Bills aren't that far behind the Jets. Like, and you're telling me, okay, we couldn't do that against them. Well, your offense still needs to put up points, right? Like, your defense, I don't know, man. Like, everything in this game, the Dolphins should not win it, but I'm not going to say I'm not a little bit nervous because this just feels like, again, you meet an opponent for the third time in a year. You know, who knows what happens? Skylar Thompson, he's had a couple of weeks to get some game action and finally get in there. He's more athletic than Tua. I don't think he's a better, you know, quarterback when it comes to IQ wise, but I just think that there's a little thing in the back of my head that's just like, if we lose this game, I'm going to be irate for the whole offseason. Like, we're going to wish that there wasn't a platform for us to be on, or like it is going to be.
We will not want to do these shows.
Scorched earth. Yeah. But I feel like the Bills should just handle their business with this. What are your thoughts on the game?
I feel like I feel like with the whole, it's tough to beat a team 3 times one season. We only beat them once. So I just think that this kind of like a third matchup kind of just lends itself to the better football team. And I think the Buffalo Bills are the better football team. I remember last year, Josh kind of had like a warm-up playoff game when he, you know, welcomed the Patriots to Orchard Park. And he went absolutely stupid, dumb, crazy. And, you know, that was en route to him becoming the highest rated quarterback of all time in the playoffs. Yeah. So, you know, I would love for him to have another warm-up game this year where he can throw for 475, you know, 32 of 34, and, you know, 4 touchdowns, 2 rushing, and looking beautiful. And en route to having to face, I don't know, a Jaguars team, or maybe perhaps a Chargers team, or maybe perhaps a Bengals team next week.
Yeah, I really don't fit. I know there's games where they're going to be like, oh, let's get into the nitty gritty of, oh, here's who the Dolphins are missing and blah, blah, blah. Look, the Dolphins, dude, they're bringing a skeleton crew up for this game, man. Like, they're hurt bad. Their offensive line is in shambles. Their defensive back, their backs are absolutely just in shreds. I don't even know who I feel like they're the last couple of weeks I've been watching their defensive backs. They've just been getting absolutely bullied out on the field. It's just kind of, the ineptitude last week of the Jets offense was the reason why they didn't put up like 30 on the Dolphins. Like it's not, there's nothing in this game that screams to me the Dolphins are the better team, because there's not one thing that this Dolphins team does better than this Bills team at this current moment in the state that they're in. So, yeah, do they still have Tyreek Hill and do they have Jalen Waddle? Yeah. Are those guys going to be a problem? Of course. But
a lot of bubble screens.
Yeah, I don't think that Skylar Thompson is going to be the dude who goes in and takes out the Buffalo Bills when Tua was barely able to do it once this year and then didn't do it the second time. So I don't know. That's just my initial thoughts on the game. I don't think you really need to keep, pushing this, because honestly, most of the time, if you look, I'm pretty sure the Bills are like 9.5 point favorites right now, or it might even be more. It might be like 10. They're not expecting it to be close at all. And I don't either. Last year, I think I said the same thing before we went into the New England game. As I was like, I don't know, it's the third time we're playing New England. You never know what's going to happen. And then the Bills just went out there and absolutely destroyed them on primetime. So, that's just kind of how I think this game could go. And that New England team was healthier last year, and this Dolphins team is absolutely beat up. But do you have anything else that kind of like closing thoughts on this Bills-Dolphins game?
I mean,
other than if they lose, we're going to explode.
Yeah, let's not even put that in the universe. The Bills are definitely going to win. They really should blow them out, if we're being honest. So,
should.
Yeah.
Should. Pick'em games. So, of course, if you guys don't know how this works, of course, we are winding down towards the end of the show. Justus and I, we've only done this twice with this new format, but we've got 2 games where we pick the spread, and then we've got a game where we pick the over-under. I went back and I watched the last one because I didn't even really know what happened, and I have 2 points. Justus has 0 points. So because the Vikings were playing the Lions that week, and Justus said, "Give me the Vikings," and I said, "No, that Lions team is about to blow them out." The Lions won by like 20, so I beat that, and then
I wanted to pick the Lions.
Yeah, and I took the under for the Chargers Miami game, and Justus took the over, and of course we all know how that game turned out. So I think the over on that game was like 52.5 points. And it only got to like 40 points. So
this is why I'm not a bettor. Like I just like I know so much about sports, and like I know so much about the game. I know so much about like tendencies and stuff like that. But then like I'll bet on things that should happen, and just because I bet on it, it won't happen just to spite me.
Yeah.
Like one in the NBA Finals, I bet a whole bunch of stuff that happened, and then my other bet was that Steph Curry would make 3 threes. Of course, this was the one game he doesn't make a single 3. It's like,
oh man,
I'm not betting no more.
I'm done. That's when you just give up the gambling life, which is perfectly fine. Like that's fine. Save your money. But this week I got 3 games for us, Justus.
Okay.
With the playoffs, of course, there's more than enough time for me to absolutely mess this up and you catch up. So we've still got a few more weeks of this. Vikings versus the Giants.
Oh my God! You always do the hardest games.
The spread is 3, so Vikings are favored by 3.
They just knows what's up. And the Vikings are home too. That means it's even. Oh man, Jesus. Oh man, this is scary. I'm gonna go with the Vikings. I'm gonna go with the best player on the field, and that's Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Vikings too. As much as I would love to see the Vikings fall flat on their face and get, choke at home against the Giants. I think that they're gonna show that, hey, we're not giant frauds. We can at least make it out of the first round. So I think the Vikings win that game as well. Second one, you're not gonna like this one because guess what? This one is also not an easy game. Chargers at Jags. Jags are favored by 2.5 points.
Oh yeah, because they're home. So that means the Chargers favorite.
I'm actually surprised the Jags are favored.
Chargers are favored by 0.5 point because the Jags are home. It's 3 points if you're home.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with the Jaguars.
I'm taking the Chargers. I think Herbie and the boys come out, and I think that, I like this kind of run that the Jags have gone on, but the Chargers being mostly healthy, minus Mike Williams, which, that's a big weapon, but I still think that with everything else that they have, and their defense is absolutely nasty and got healthy at the right time. This Jaguars team, it's been a nice little run. You won your division. The Chargers are about to smoke them at home.
I think Justin.
Even though the Jaguars, here's a little thing. The Jaguars blew the Chargers out at the beginning of the season. So
I think Justin Herbert is going to give me more ammo, and I'll be able to say all of next season, win a playoff game, and then you can be a top 5 quarterback.
Right. I'm sorry. He's a top 5 quarterback, man, and it's going to be like, has he won a playoff game?
He hasn't won a playoff game. So I
hate that.
To all 2023, baby. Okay.
There you go. I mean, I hope for your sake, I will love to have those battles with you next year to talk about Justin Herbert. Now, here's the one where we talk about the over-under.
Oh, God.
Both games, we agree on one, don't agree on the other one. Cowboys at Buccaneers. Over-under 45.5 points. Under?
Under.
If I was a smart man, I would also say under, so our only difference would be the Chargers game, which I'm very confident about. But Tom Brady could go absolutely nuts on the Cowboys.
Sure could.
Um, 45.5. So that means each team would have to score 20. No, God, this game has like 20 to like 14 written all over it. Something like that. 21 to like 14. I'll bet the over. I'm up 2 points. I know I have some balls.
Oh.
There we go. Yeah, I think it goes over 45.5. I think the Cowboys kind of like try to control the game by keep running it, and the Bucs defensive line can't do anything. But then Tom Brady just keeps willing them down the field, and it's actually going to be a close game. So yeah, there we go. We've got two things that are different. So those are the pick'em games. Best of luck to you, Justus. And now we can actually talk about the playoffs. Oh, let's see. Actually, we'll go through that really quick, and then we'll get out. We'll get off of the show. How do we do that?
You just keep going real quick. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, Justus is going to be right back. So what I'm going to do is sit here and talk to everybody alone. How are you guys doing here? I want to, while we're just sitting here, I actually want to thank you guys for actually like supporting a lot of the stuff that we do on this channel. If you're actually watching this, whether you're on Twitter and you're watching this, or you're watching this on YouTube, we're a new brand, obviously, coming from, Built in Buffalo and stuff. When we come over here and we're like, hey, we'll start building this and, trying to absolutely kind of make a stamp on the Bills content creator space. It's kind of hard. It's really hard to try to break in when there's so many other established brands, and kind of this is like a big thing for me and Justus. So if you sit here and you watch these shows, I absolutely, appreciate every single one of you guys. If you interact with any of our content on Twitter, if you're one of the new followers that came in through the DeMar Hamlin stuff, I want to thank you guys too. I was covering it about as much as I could for the Twitter page, because I felt like that was the best way to use the Twitter page, because it has such a huge following to get info out to people. But just kind of the support we've gotten through this whole year. I think our anniversary is in a couple of months for 1 year of doing this. Almost at 1,000 subscribers already. It's absolutely insane, especially with, some of the stuff not having shows every single week because of school and stuff like that. It's a lot, and I love the support that you guys show for a bunch of other shows like Believe in Bills and all that fun stuff. We've got a lot of awesome stuff actually planned for this year coming up. A lot of like higher end production type stuff. And it's not going to just all be, talk shows where dudes sit here and talk about, football. And maybe you guys like that. But, Buffalo FAMbase, we want it to be more entertainment than just dudes, with beards and glasses talking about football. So if you guys are sitting here and enjoy the content, I hope you enjoy all of it. All the playoff videos that we're going to do, all the content that we share on the social medias. It's been awesome. Over 800 people already. The likes and the interactions we get with the podcast network as well. I love the people who listen to that. It's just overwhelming. I haven't really gotten a chance to sit down and actually talk to everybody and tell you thank you for that. A lot of people don't know where we went when we left Built in Buffalo. We kind of left and people found us just looking for shows some nights, and they kind of found that we came over here, and it's kind of hard, starting a brand new brand, and we try to get it out to people, but not everybody finds it anymore, and brands replace shows like anything. So to see people who have followed with us and enjoy our shows that we do weekly, whether it's me and Justus or the post-game show or Justus and Mike or any of the, like, I Believe in Bills, has been really awesome on this podcast platform. It's been amazing. So Buffalo FAMbase, sports talk, entertainment, all things Buffalo. And, it's been awesome to have this opportunity, presented by 26 Shirts. Again, you guys already, after this week, the Strong Buffalo collection, really, it goes to support charity, as well as the over $102,000 that was donated to the Chasing M's. I know Dell really appreciates all that, the whole community. It's awesome. And to see the support that everything gets with everything growing is really, really special to me. A lot of people, maybe you guys don't know, I'm a radio and television broadcast major. So kind of setting all this up, I kind of do it because the field haven't really been able to do much in it. There's not a lot of doors that are open. So I kind of do this because it's the passion. I know Justus the same way. We all just really want to put out good content for the Bills. It feels like in so many different avenues, we've kind of been kicked to the curb. So finally we came together and we decided we were going to do this. And the support that we get is absolutely amazing. Of course, smash the like button. That really helps a ton. And it really helps us get to other Bills fans, because that is kind of what this is all about, getting this entertainment out to Bills fans for you guys to watch. So, if any of you guys are ever thinking that, we don't appreciate any of that stuff, we do. I mean, I check the numbers all the time. I like to see who's really, really enjoying the stuff. I view the replays of all the shows, see the live chats, see who's getting the most interaction. I love seeing everybody on our platform succeed. That's kind of what we built this for, because we were going to just go do it on our own, make our own little Buffalo Bills channel. But then we were reached out to by the powers that be. And now we are setting up a whole thing. It's kind of turned into a lot more than we thought it would be. And it's only year one. So I can't even imagine what we're going to be like 2 3 years down the road, it might actually be something that is viable, that we can really put out really, really, really high end stuff for you guys. So that's definitely what we're looking for. So if you guys, have anything that you want to go ahead and throw that down in the comments section. I'll see if we can answer a couple of questions here while we wait for Justus to come back. Have no idea where he went. Oh, never mind. There he is. Hello.
Hi, guys.
Why are you switching us? There we go. That's you want to go into these picks? I just sat here and I just spilled my whole piece to these people about the appreciation we have for them for this whole.
Well, we do have appreciation for them, so that was a good thing that happened.
It was a whole 5 minutes of saying that like this turned into a lot more than we possibly thought it would in the first year. So
absolutely has. It's been an amazing ride, and I'm super glad that we get to continue to take it. And man, big things to come, guys. But getting into these picks, what's the game we on right now?
So let's just talk about the playoffs in general, what we've got going on. So the wild card round, of course, let me go and pull up the actual full NFL playoffs so we can here we go. Nope, not what we're looking for. We are looking for this. Cool. While we're going at it, do you have any I don't know if we've announced any new projects that we're possibly working on, Justus, but do you got anything that you want to share with the people that are still watching with us?
Shout out to 24/7 Buffalo FAMbase. Congratulations to those guys. They made their fan base debut on Tuesday. Super excited to have those guys a part of the family. Because you guys are watching and we love you and all that stuff. Yeah, be sure to tune in. Not tune in, but also, come on out and join us and support us and everything. We're going to be having an event with Stevie Johnson. All right. So look out for that. Also, a Chipotle event.
Event.
That's what even Jake don't know about yet. We have
Chipotle.
We have a Chipotle event coming up, so we're going to talk more about that. Give you guys details when they are ready. So listen, guys, big things coming. Okay. Also, some videos in the works. I'm sure probably on both of our ends we got some videos in the works. So yeah, man, big things coming as always. Keep
big things. Let's get these picks in, right, Justus? All right. So Chargers, Jaguars. We've kind of already put that out there. You think the Jaguars are going to win? I think that the Chargers will win. And either way, that game really doesn't matter until this game is played. Right? So I feel like as much as we want the Ravens to beat the Bengals, I don't think it's happening.
I could concede that to the Bengals.
Yeah. So if I had to pick, I would say the Bengals are going to beat the Ravens, and could not even be close. If Tyler Huntley plays, could be closer, but the Bengals would really have to choke that one away.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm guessing we're both going to pick the Bills here.
Oh man,
yeah. So then we've got this game. Who are we picking? Who we just did the over under. Who do you think's winning this game? I'm gonna go with Tom Brady.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Buccaneers won, but I have to go with what I've seen this season, and I will say that I'm going to go with the Cowboys. However, I will say that if Tom Brady and the Bucs win, look out, because they might do something crazy and like F around and be in an NFC championship game before you know it. So,
yeah, I mean, we could see Bucks 49ers. If the actually, let's say if Bucks win, let's say the Vikings win, then it would be Vikings 49ers? And then the Bucks would have to play the Eagles.
And I can see them winning that.
Yeah, I could see that too. God, could you imagine Tom Brady's just like NFC East? Pfft. Nah. Like y'all thought you had a shot. No thanks. But yeah, no, I would take Brady. You take the Cowboys. I'm taking the Vikings in this game against the Giants. But man, I'm telling you, I'm not confident in it, man. I think Brian Daboll could easily beat these fraud Vikings.
If I was asked Vikings, Giants again, I'd probably choose the Giants. But I already said Vikings, so.
Yeah. And then 49ers, Seahawks. I mean, is that a question? I mean, 49ers
no, it shouldn't be. 49ers should tap that out.
Yeah, legitimately. Should absolutely bend the Seahawks over. But who knows? Divisional games. It's there's I don't know, man. It's that's just how it is, you know. So we're gonna stop sharing that. Those are kind of our picks for the first round. We'll see. Hopefully we come back next week. Obviously next week we'll come back. Maybe have a guest in store for next week. I got a DM while we were doing the show. So we'll get that on, a little bit of a reunion going. So yeah, so we'll see what we can do next week. Hopefully we're talking about maybe a Bills Chargers, Bills Jaguars matchup.
We're talking about, do the Bills have what it takes to stop Trevor Lawrence?
Hey, we lost to them last year, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
So who knows? The Jaguars, they have our number in the playoffs, and I hate it. But all right, man, you want to sign us out? Get us out of here like you always do.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to Built Different. I, of course, am Justus General Rafford. That's my brother Jake Jordan. We appreciate you guys listening and tuning in, because we appreciate everything you guys do for us. Every like, comment, subscription, retweet, repost, share. All of the love and support you give us, we appreciate it, because we do this for y'all. We do this for y'all. So until next time, we will see you guys later. This is the official network of the original Bills Mafia. We are out. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Like athletes.